Hello and welcome to Bank and Balance, the channel that takes the complexity of investing and boils it down into actionable insights. If you've been wondering what's happening in the global stock markets right now and how it might affect your investments, you're in the right place. This video will unpack the most critical trends shaping the market today. Whether you're new to investing or a seasoned pro, you'll find something valuable here. So, grab a seat, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive in together. Let's start with the US markets because they often set the tone for global trends. Right now, the S&P 500 and Nasdaq are facing mixed conditions. The Federal Reserve's decision to maintain higher interest rates for an extended period has investors divided. On the one hand, some see this as a move to combat inflation effectively, signaling a strong, resilient economy. On the other hand, there are concerns about how these rates might pressure corporate profits, particularly in sectors like real estate and technology, which are heavily reliant on borrowing. Meanwhile, the energy sector is on fire, pun intended. Stabilizing oil prices, following OPEC's calculated production cuts, have revitalized this space. Companies tied to crude oil, natural gas, and renewables are benefiting from higher prices and growing demand. For instance, ExxonMobil and Chevron are seeing significant investor interest as the world balances a push for sustainability with an immediate need for traditional energy sources. Zooming out to Asia, let's talk about Japan. The Nikkei index has been climbing steadily, largely thanks to a weaker yen. Why is that important? A weaker currency makes Japanese goods cheaper on the global market, boosting exports from companies like Toyota and Sony. However, this isn't without its challenges. Import costs rise with a weaker yen, which could squeeze profits if the trend continues too long. Shifting our focus to India, the Nifty50 index is rebounding strongly after hitting some turbulence earlier this year. Infrastructure development and tech sector growth are major drivers. For instance, investments in AI and digital infrastructure are creating long-term optimism. Companies like Infosys and Tata Consultancy Services are at the forefront of this movement, attracting both domestic and foreign investors. And what about emerging markets? These are often overlooked but are critical in understanding the broader financial ecosystem. Markets in South Asia and Latin America are experiencing a mix of challenges and opportunities. In countries like Brazil, rising commodity prices are a double-edged sword, benefiting exporters while increasing domestic inflation. Pakistan's markets, on the other hand, are navigating macroeconomic hurdles but show promise in specific sectors like textiles and agriculture. It's fascinating to see how these regions intertwine. For example, geopolitical events like the Ukraine war have global ripple effects. Energy prices fluctuate, supply chains get disrupted, and inflationary pressures mount, impacting everything from grocery prices in Europe to fuel costs in Asia. Speaking of Europe, the FTSE 100 and DAX indices are grappling with slower than expected growth. Post-pandemic recovery is proving to be more of a marathon than a sprint. Countries are facing challenges like high inflation and labor shortages, which are affecting market performance. Now, let's talk about seasonality, a factor often overlooked by casual investors. Historically, the end of the year sees what's called a Santa Claus rally. This is when stocks tend to rise during the final week of December through the first 2 trading days of January. While this isn't guaranteed, consumer-driven stocks and tech companies often benefit from holiday spending surges. But trends and patterns don't just happen in isolation. They're influenced by real human decisions. Whether it's institutional investors reshuffling portfolios at the year's end or individuals making impulsive trades based on headlines, every data point tells a story. So here's a question for you. How are you interpreting these movements in the market? Are you seeing opportunities, or are you sitting on the sidelines waiting for more clarity? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Remember, this isn't just a video, it's a community where we can discuss, debate, and learn together. In the next segment, we'll explore how you can apply these insights to your investment strategies, whether you're into stocks, ETFs, or other financial instruments. Stick around because things are about to get even more insightful.